Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the next one, The Companions of the Prophet, Lives that Define Islam, episode 6, Khalid ibn Al-Walid. So let me ask you something real. Can someone who once fought against Islam become one of its greatest defenders? Not just change sides, but become a legend within it. Because the story of Khalid ibn Al-Walid is exactly that. So who was Khalid? Khalid wasn't ordinary. He was a master strategist, a fearless warrior, a leader of armies, and in Mecca, he was known for one thing, victory. And when Islam began spreading, Khalid stood against it. The man who fought the Muslims at the Battle of Uhud, it was Khalid's strategy that turned the tide. He led a cavalry attack that caused a heavy loss for the Muslims. So think about that. One of Islam's toughest moments was shaped by the same man who would later defend it. So the turning point, years later, something changed. Khalid began to reflect. He saw Islam wasn't disappearing, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was not lying. The message was consistent. This wasn't blind following. This was thinking. And one day, Khalid made a decision. The walk towards truth. He left Mecca, not as an enemy, but searching. On the way, he met others who were also heading to accept Islam. And when he finally stood before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he declared, I testify there's no God but Allah, and you are his messenger. Just think of it. The Prophet's response, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, didn't remind him of the past. He didn't say, you fought us, you caused harm. Instead, he said, Islam wipes away what came before it. And then gave him a title, Safullah, is the sword of Allah. From opponent to protector after accepting Islam, Khalid didn't hold back. He used the same skill, the same strategy, but now for truth, he led battles. He defended the Muslims, expanded the reach of the Islam, and he became one of the greatest military leaders in history. And the most powerful reality, here's what makes his story even deeper. Khalid fought in countless battles. He didn't die on the battlefield. He died in his bed and said, I fought in so many battles, and there is not a spot on my body except that has a wound. Yet I die in my bed like a camel. Then he says, let the eyes of cowards never sleep. So in today's reflection, people think past mistakes define them. People believe they've gone too far. People feel they can't change. But Khalid, he went from fighting Islam to become one of his greatest heroes. I said, for my non-Muslims, think deeply. Would Islam accept someone who fought against it if it was built on ego or revenge? Or does this show something unique? That Islam is about truth and not grudges. So that's it. It transforms hearts and not just sides. So the lessons we can learn from Khalid, may Allah be pleased with him. Your past does not define your truth. Truth welcomes those who seek it. And strength should be used for justice, and change is always possible. And in my closing reflection, Khalid didn't just change, he redirected everything he was. His strength, his skill, his purpose. So the question is, if Khalid could go from enemy to legend, what could you become if you turned towards the truth? Think about that. So in my next episode, episode 7, Abdul Rahman ibn Awf, the man who lost everything and built it all back with sincerity and generosity.